All right, here's an intro video for a 5.7 acre property. Let me see if I can blow that up a little bit. There we go. 5.7 acres directly borders the Mark Twain National Forest along its entire west side. Has good access on a gravel easement road, and actually power runs right along the easement road. So, really special property. This is in Shannon County, Missouri. So, kind of right in the heart of the Ozarks. Rivers, creeks, national forest all over the place. And like we just mentioned, this actually directly borders the national forest. This is tract 32 at Wilderness Lake, Shannon County, Missouri. Small little private rural development. There are about 50 tracts here. A few of the tracts have direct frontage on the national forest, and this happens to be one of those. So here we've got the property outlined in red. This over to the right, outlined in green, that's a small lake. So that's an easement for the property owners and their guests to use. You can actually fish in that lake. It's been a few years since we tried our luck in the lake, but there were catfish and bass and several other little species in there. So really cool area. I think, well, first let's zoom out just a little bit and we'll kind of show you how everything is situated here. We're using the MapRight program, by the way. You'll see this interactive map in the listing for the property. When you go to visit the property, if you download the MapRight app, it's a free app, then we can email you the link for this specific interactive map. You click on the link in your email, open it up within the app on your phone or your tablet, and then not only will you have the interactive map on your screen, but there'll be a little colored dot to indicate where you are. It works out the GPS on your phone, so it's really cool. Okay, so here we've got the shaded area is the Mark Twain National Forest. So I mean that gives you tens of thousands of acres of additional land for hunting and recreation and trail riding and all that good stuff. Literally bordering this property, so really cool. Starting on the left here, this is I believe that's County Road 580. It's labeled as Old Tram Road on some maps, but it's County Road 580. And then you've got the gravel easement road, which goes east off of that, and it just circles around around the lake and then back again. So you can see just a handful of these properties around the edge of the easement road actually border the national forest, and this is one of those. So you've got this main easement road, I'm sorry, and then the dotted lines on this map indicate other easement roads or trails at Wilderness Lake. And so what you've actually got is on the very southern portion of this property, if you look at the dotted line, that's actually an existing trail that's been there probably 100 years. And it actually goes into the national forest. And actually, I believe it winds all the way around and goes back to the county road. So that is an easement for other property owners to use so they can get to the national forest or whatnot. There's also an easement on one of the tracks on the north side that goes up and gives National Forest access. And then, as you can see, they're going east from the property. There's an easement that goes over another tract, and that brings you to the lake area. So, just to make everybody aware that there is an easement road, but it's not dissecting the middle of this property. It's just right on the very south part here. It's an extremely low traffic easement. Odds are, no matter where you build, you will be completely out of sight of that small easement road or trail. But just want everybody to be aware of that. So you've got not only the direct frontage, but you can actually take that easement trail, drive your truck or your four-wheeler or whatever right into the national forest. So you've got access that way. Directly across the easement road, you'll see that existing trail which goes down to the lake. So you've got access that way as well. So really cool. I'm going to zoom in here. This is a Google base map. It's several years old, and it looks like it was taken probably in the winter time, this aerial. So I mean, it's not showing the property at its finest, but you do get a fairly good look at it as we zoom in a little more here. Okay. I'm hoping there it cleared up a little bit. It's pretty good actually. So here on the east, you've got the easement road. As we mentioned earlier, here's the little existing trail. If you look at this northeast corner, that was at one time basically an open meadow. It's going to have grown up now, I'm sure. It'll need to be bush hogged. It's been years since it's been mowed. But then as you move toward the west, you've actually got some pretty nice timber on this property. And it appears to get thicker as you go back toward the national forest. So you're going to have oak, you're going to have pine, you're going to have hickory, all kinds of good stuff. With some mowing and some cleanup, you've got kind of a clearing here. Otherwise, what a lot of people like to do, us included, is kind of scout around, spend the day and scout around your property, find a site you like, and then go ahead and create a driveway. Just clean up a driveway going back into the property. So one of the property covenants is you can't cut the timber on the property until it's been paid for in full. But that being said, we often make written exceptions if you want to do a driveway or you want to do a building site, because we understand that that's certainly part of purchasing a property. Is you're going to want to kind of do that to make it more usable. So all you have to do is go out there and check out which trees you want to remove, get a hold of us, and we'll have one of our guys go out there and check it over and give you, oftentimes give you written permission to do that. I think the only times when we haven't been able to grant written permission are when people said they had planned on doing some huge building site, but all they did was mark the 30 largest trees on the property. So it seemed obvious that they intended to remove the trees and sell them. So we weren't able to help them out with that. But in general, for a driveway or a building site, absolutely, we can help you, give you written permission for that. I wonder if it'll clear up a little more if we zoom in again. That's about it. That's pretty good, though. So not only does this have the National Forest frontage, as we've mentioned 12 times already, but right here along the east side of the easement road, you have a power line. So pretty unusual situation to have a property that has good access, National Forest frontage, and power available. But this has all of those. So, I mean, really special tract. By the way, just about every single tract at Wilderness Lake here is 5 acres in size. There are a couple that are smaller. I believe that this is the only tract that's over 5 acres in size. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. So 5.759 acres, the largest tract at Wilderness Lake. Pretty cool. Let's zoom out a little here. There's probably 3 or 4 little homes or cabins out here. I don't know if any of them can be seen from the property, but just nice, private, secluded area. I wonder if we can switch the base map and get a better look at it. We'll go to a satellite. Now that's going to be several years old as well. Okay, back to Google Map. Let's go ahead and zoom out a little more. We'll show you the area. Whoop. There we go. By the way, I'm not sure if I mentioned it already, but you can go straight to our website at InstantAcres.com to see if this property is still available. Everything we sell through our website is with complete owner financing, very low down payment, no credit checks. You can literally buy it right through the website within just a few minutes. So go ahead and check that out. I believe pretty much all, if not all, of our properties right now are just $500 down, so really good deal. Okay, so again, this green shaded area is going to be National Forest. Excuse me. So I mean, if we were to actually sit down and figure out how much National Forest this property touches, it would be 50, 60, 70,000 acres. I mean, a pretty awesome situation that you can have your 5+ acres, set up your home, set up your cabin, set up your campsite, and then have direct access into tens of thousands of acres, which is basically your backyard, your playground. So really cool deal. Okay, I'm going to switch this to the street map, and I think that'll make it a little more clear. Yeah, slightly. Okay. So check out the listing page. We'll have detailed maps and directions and whatnot, but since we're already here on MapRight, if you look to the top of the screen, that's the town of Winona, Missouri. Highway 60 runs east and west. That's the main east-west highway here in southern Missouri. So from Highway 60, you go south on Highway 19. You go, I believe, about 2.5 miles, somewhere between 2 and 3 miles. and you're going to go east. Now this calls it Forest Road 3169. I doubt the sign says that. The sign probably says County Road 580. So you go east on County Road 580, and I believe that's about 2 miles. And if you look off to the east side of the road, you'll see the double blue gates, which are the entrance to the tracks at Wilderness Lake. So go on ahead and cruise on in and take a look at it. And let's zoom out a little further here. So one of the questions we often get from people, whether they plan to build or plan to camp or whatnot on their property, is where is the closest Walmart? And I think that's an excellent question. So here's the property right here. This is the town of Winona. As we go west about 5-6 miles, we've got Birch Tree. Go west another 5 or 6 miles, and you've got Mountain View, Missouri. And that is your closest Walmart. So Mountain View is a fairly small town, but it does have the Walmart, gas stations, restaurants, all that good stuff. So that's nice to have that nearby. And we'll zoom out just a little more. Major rivers here in the Ozarks, very close to the property. Basically on this map, the shaded areas are areas that are more or less open for public use. So the dark green area, the darker green area, is the National Forest. This blue area and this other shaded area, that's going to be state-run conservation land. And then as we look at the purple area, that's actually the Ozark National Scenic Riverway. So up here we've got the Jacks Fork River to the northwest, about 10-12 miles. To the northeast we have the Current River, wildly popular rivers for fishing and floating and all that good stuff. This area of the Ozarks specifically is well known for hunting white-tailed deer and turkey. Again, we've got the property kind of centered. If you look to the east, just about, 5 or 10 miles maybe, the Peck Ranch Conservation Area is where the state of Missouri released a herd of wild elk, and they're working on populating the Ozarks with an elk population. And that was a few years ago, and I guess it's going really well. They're really taking hold here in the Ozarks. So you may well see wild elk when you come to visit your property. And let's zoom out just a little more. I'm going to turn off the river layer. There we go. Okay. So again, here's the property, right by the little floating Mickey Mouse hand. Going west, about an hour and 15 minutes or so, you've got the town of Springfield. That's the largest city in southern Missouri. So I mean, you can, from the property, you can drive to Springfield and be back well before lunchtime if you wanted to. You've got Branson about 20 minutes south of Springfield, and all these lakes, Table Rock Lake and Bull Shoals Lake and Norfolk Lake, are all within driving distance. And then just to kind of show you where this is located in Missouri, again, here's the property by the floating white hand. To the northeast, I believe, let's say 3 hours, is St. Louis, and northwest is Kansas City. That's a little further. I'm not sure how far, but about half a day's drive. But if you happen to be a St. Louis resident, we have a lot of people from St. Louis and the St. Louis area who buy hunting properties here. They tell us it's just about perfect for a vacation property because they can leave work Friday, get down to their property while it's still light out, and then they have the evening and all day Saturday and quite a bit of the day Sunday, drive back to their property and then go back to work and back to reality and dream about your property again for the next month or two. So a lot of people from St. Louis love to come and hunt and fish and all that good stuff in this area. Okay, so this intro video ended up quite a bit longer than we had planned. Let's zoom back in. We'll take one more quick look at the property and then we'll call that good. So yeah, go to InstantAcres.com to see if this is still available. Our website is updated by the minute. So if it's on the website and is shown as available, then it is available. We do put a lot of videos on YouTube so the buyers can see them, and we leave them on YouTube even after they're sold because the buyers, of course, want to continue to view the videos. So unfortunately, just because it's on YouTube doesn't necessarily mean it's available, but if you go to InstantAcres.com, you'll know right away. So there we go. Yeah, really nice tract. I can't remember the last time a property like this became available at Wilderness Lake. So I'm sure this was leased out for hunting uh, for quite a few years, and we decided to go ahead and put it on the market. So here's a great chance. It's tract 32 at Wilderness Lake. If you have any questions, you can give us a call in the office, or you can email us at sales@instantacres.com. We would love to chat with you about this property.